Hello again, everybody. Okay, here's a really cool trick that I'm going to teach you how to do, and I'm going to credit this trick to TMR1111 and 1986 Shy. They both did this trick in contest number 11, and I think it's a really cool trick. I'm going to show it to you and teach you. Actually, I'm going to just do a tutorial on the trick. So, what you need is a deck of cards and two cards that you're willing to ruin and waste from another deck with a different color. So I'm going to use two Blueback Bicycle playing cards. Here's the setup for the trick. One of the cards we'll put on the bottom is the card. Let's not use the king. We'll use a spot card. Is the card you're going to force on the spectator. The second card we're going to set up the before the trick by folding the card in half and then folding the card again in half, just like this. And now we're ready to go. This card is going to be the marker. So we're going to force the card on the spectator. So we're going to say, we'd like you to tell me when to stop. And this bottom card is going to be pushed in a little bit. So that way when you riffle through the cards and they say stop, you're actually pulling out all the cards and leaving that card on the bottom. So they say stop, you pull out all the cards and you show them that their card is this card. You don't look at it. You show them that that's their card and you ask them to sign it. Since it's a blue back, you hold it while they're signing it. So they sign their name just like that. Ishkabibble. And then you take the deck back and you can do a lot of different shuffles, but you want to control the card to the bottom of the deck. A real simple way is just keep the card on the bottom, make it look like you're shuffling the cards, and the card just remains on the bottom. If you're good at handling cards, you can do a lot of different cuts and get the card to the bottom. Then what you want to do is you want to palm the card. So there's a couple of ways to do that. One is you can actually force the card out a little bit and then palm the card and take the card away and hand the deck to the spectator. One way that I like to do is I like to use my pinky and twist the card out just like that and then hand the deck to the spectator. So now I've got the card out of the deck, and I give the deck to the spectator and say to the spectator, cut the cards into three piles. So while the spectator is cutting the cards into three piles, I'm folding this card that they sign in just the same exact way as the other blue card is signed. I'm going to ask them to place the marker on top of one of the piles they selected. So you want to do this either behind your back or with your hands under the table, but somewhere where they can't see you doing this. So now you keep this in your other hand, and now you say, okay, we'll get rid of these two piles. Now take the marker off with this hand and say divide this into three more piles. And they'll divide it into three more piles. And once again with this hand, you say place this on the pile you'd like to keep. Once again, let's say they put it there. And then you take away this pile. Now you take the marker off with this hand and you ask them to do it once again. This time you pull this hand back and you transfer the card you folded into this hand, and while they're dividing it into three piles, you are picking the marker up and making the switch. So you just made the switch with that hand, and they're cutting the card so they're not paying attention, so you could just ditch this card. Now this is the card they signed. You ask them to place it on top of one of the cards in one of the piles. In this case there are just three cards left, or four cards left, but there's only one card here. Say okay, place it right there, and say okay, this is the last card and this is your selected card. And they turn it over and they say no, it's not. And you say, well, let's take a look. And then you open up, and the marker card they were using all along is the card that they selected, and it has a blue back. And that's it. It's a pretty amazing effect. You've got to be willing to waste two cards, and it will amaze people. That's it. Take it easy. See you next time.